Hey, we're having a great Transformers Tuesday today. We're looking at Blurr. Blurr is from, well, probably the Cyberverse universe. This particular figure, it's not a very complicated figure, and at first I thought it was actually one of the ones you just pull a button and it pops into place. Wow. It looks like it has gotten some aging over time from being just in a package. Look at the yellowing of the blue right there. It's not matching the other two colors of blue. Of course, these are painted on, that's why they didn't age. If they were all the same color blue at one time, this plastic blue is definitely going to age while the painted blue will not. But the white looks pretty pristine, so overall it looks okay. So I'm pretty sure this is the deluxe size. It's got a little rifle you can plug into the side. You can also plug it into the roof, but if you're going to put it in storage, you better not do that. You'll have a broken rifle when you get done, especially it being made out of clear plastic. You can also put it on this side, but then it has that tab sticking up. So in car mode, it looks pretty good. It's a very interesting design, like a futuristic car, which of course, let's be honest, that's what they all came to Earth as in the 2005, 1986 movie, which was set in 2005. So I really dig the car design. One thing we were talking about the other day is clear plastic is not something that you really need on a car. You don't need to see what's inside. If all you see is basically in this situation, his crotch is all we're seeing. I don't want to see that. I think painted windows, or actually opaque windows, are just perfect unless there's something inside, like a person sitting in there. Like on some of the older GoBots, they actually had the seats in there, and when you transform it, that area just completely stayed the same because they weren't really, well, some of them, like, there's a few of them, like the future car, I think it was just a mech. I don't think it was actually a autonomous, thinking a vehicle. You can see how you're going to easily transform these things once you get into transformation mode. So the clear plastic was completely unnecessary, and in the long run, it will eventually break. But, I mean, Blurr, it looks almost like he's trying to do an ice thing here. Let's go ahead and start transforming him. Now, to transform him, you just fiddle around until you get the feel for what you're doing here. Now, I would just go ahead and start taking some things out, like his arms, to relieve some pressure so that we can start getting the legs free, and then pull the legs down to release it from the windshield. Then you could pull the legs apart. If you get the arms just slightly out of the way, I would go ahead and bend them to make sure that you don't pull. If you are in the habit of pulling hard, you won't rip the arms off at the same time. Like I just ripped the leg off right there. Thankfully, it's a ball joint, so it'll go right back into place. He's been sitting in storage for several years. I actually want to take a rag and clean that windshield up because it looks awful. I don't know if it's just the plastic, coming apart over time, or if it's something building up on it, or what. He's in this Ziploc bag, so I really couldn't tell you. And then again, it could just be heat breaking down the elements of what he is. I have a ball jointed leg that will not want to stay on. All right, so pulling the feet out, there's a trick to it. First off, just go ahead and rip the leg off, evidently, because it ain't gonna matter. Okay, so sometimes there's an easier way to get the legs out, the feet out. You just got to pry it out. Come on, leg. Okay, so as you can see, pulling it this way would probably be the best thing. Getting his foot down, that's the complete transformation. Let's do it to the other side. Come over here, take the back of his heel and pull it forward and get it into place. Then hope and pray that the leg will stay on, because he is just not wanting to cooperate with me today. All right, we're not done yet. We got a lot more to do. The back parts of the car, he's just gonna keep coming and does, isn't he? Oh my gosh. Okay, so he is just, he's just happy to fall apart. He's just falling apart. He must be getting old, like me. All right, that whole part right there just pops out. I mean, that's just huge wraparound. The thing is that the canopy actually locks into right there, so it doesn't just like become a butt flap like a lot of these things do. Not sure why he's looking to that side, but he maybe was like, you pulled my arm out, and he's looking at it to say how much pain it is in. Hey, I'm not pulling you apart, you're just falling apart. The arms did come out whenever you pulled it out. You need to twist the arms around at the bicep swivel. All right, so there he is. And if I can get him to stand, because he is, like I said, he's got some loose hips. He is just like us all when we get old, we got those loose hips. I know mine hurt all the time. And then, of course, he has his weapon of choice, the clear or translucent, almost blue gun. So, back in the day, you're supposed to scan this for some reason. I don't know. I've never scanned it. I wasn't into that kind of play pattern. I can't tell you what it was. The arms don't seem to want to lock into place, and if they do, it's going to do this to me if I try. So it's better off that you don't even try it. So something about this side of his body is just not locking into place. So let's take a look at the articulation. Clearly he's on a ball joint right here. His head, it's on a ball joint. I think it's on, no, it's just on one single ball joint. He's got some light piping, as you can see. The clearness right here and the clearness in the back of his head lets the light come in. Let me get the light down closer to him. So you see his eyes right there glowing. All right. His arm has got a bicep swivel, which is part of the transformation. The elbow goes up 90 degrees. There's nothing for the hands at all. He has nothing in the waist that I can think about, no, because he's compact as it is. His legs are on a ball joint at the hip. There's no thigh swivel. His knees go back way further than 90 degrees due to the transformation. Might as well just take it off and look at it. His foot goes forward and backwards. It's got two different pins of joints, so you can get a little bit more out if you really need to. But there's no ankle rockers on it. And clearly there's no grip right there for that. So I do like the thing, and even though it's falling apart, it's probably the age and the certain types of plastic. Like maybe this plastic is deteriorating. I would say this thing is about, I want to say like 8 years old. It's not that old, but I don't remember this being an issue with it. Oh, look, evidently there is a thigh swivel. I just could not explain it, or I could not show it to you, because if I tried, it would probably fall apart. So let's try that bolster. Okay, so right there, that thigh swivel, it's not much. It gives you a little bit more. Now, I know one of my friends says that in order to get the balls to be a little bit thicker, there's different things you can do to it. There's all kinds of people that say all kinds of things. One guy has museum wax as one of the things. The problem with museum wax where I live at, I'm afraid that if I did get it, it's going to melt and end up being a glop inside the bag. So overall, he looks pretty good. He looks absolutely nothing like the Blurr that I grew up with back in the 80s, except for his color scheme. Other than that, no, I don't see my Blurr in him. Maybe the legs a little bit, but not much. So did you pick up this one for your collection? I do think he's cool, but I'm going to put him back into storage because I can't keep everything. And in the background, I did thin out what I had out there, because I'm going, this is what's going to stay up for now until I get done. And then I'll probably bag all of them and put them back into storage. But I like having a little bit of something in the background while I'm doing this. So hope you have a terrific Transformers Tuesday. Comment below if this is one of the figures you picked up. I know I also bought, and that's what I thought it was at first, the little one-step changer. You just push a button and he pretty much snaps into place. He was just fun. He really is fun. This one would be fun if it didn't fall apart so easily. Oh well. But he still looks pretty good. The only complaints I said about are obviously the balls falling off and that clear windshield.